the amazing Matt Hampson.
Yeah, incredible story. The time now 10 to 8. And 2 years ago, former footballer Graeme Souness took part in a gruelling swim across the English Channel to raise money for people living with a rare skin condition. Now, he was inspired to take on the challenge after meeting 17-year-old Isla Grist, who's been living with EB since birth.
Recently, injury has delayed his return to the water, but now he is planning his biggest challenge yet.
We're joined by Graeme and Isla. Morning to both, alongside Dr. Anna Martinez, who's a paediatric dermatologist at Great Ormond Street Hospital. Good morning to you all. Nice to see you all here.
Good morning.
Isla, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Talk to me about EB, because that's why we're all here, and you live with it every day.
Yeah.
What impact does it have on you?
EB is just so... It's one of the things that is hard to explain if you don't live with it or you don't experience it every day. It's undescribable. But even simple tasks like getting dressed take me half an hour, 20 minutes. Even just wanting to have a shower or a bath, that could take me 5 hours. Yeah.
And it's because your condition makes your skin very fragile?
Yeah. So the type of EB I've got nothing that stops the skin from sliding.
Right.
And that will cause open wounds and blisters, which can be very, very painful.
And Graeme, this is something that I know now you know all about. Isla's story convinced you to get in the water 2 years ago, and after a little bit of a delay because of an injury, to go back in the water again. Just talk us through what happened and what you're doing next.
Well, I went to a function, it must be close to 6 years ago, and there was a young lady called Myra who was speaking, and there were some videos of other children who have this condition. And unfortunately, Myra's no longer with us. And I thought I'd get involved in this. I've got the time. And it was like someone punched me on the nose. It really was. It's such a devastating thing to see close up. And then, of course, I met Isla, and Isla just, she bullies me. She bullies me, so I'm on the receiving end.
People have done that, Graeme.
I get it at home occasionally, but I get bullied. I've been bullied this morning already. I was a wee bit late, so she gave it to me.
Yeah, we've heard.
And I come from a world where they talk about strong characters and people that can dig in and stuff. But what Isla goes through and other children go through is beyond belief. It really is. It's such a there's no respite from it. It's on them every single day, and the quality of life is greatly diminished. But she has a great family around her, and DEBRA supports her and her family, and we'll just do our best. We're going to attempt to swim. I suggest that after too much red wine one night, because the guys I swim with are quite persuasive. They're ex-Marines, and they're proper guys. You can't cut any corners with them. I'll put it at that. You cannot cut any corners with them.
And it's quite this way. I mean, we've got it here. I mean, you're not only going to do it once, you're coming back again.
Yeah, we're going to. Yeah. In a relay, there's 6 of us. So what it means, when we did it a couple of years ago, an hour in the water, 5 hours out, and that was tough. And it was quite intimidating getting into the water in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But this time we're going to attempt to do it and back. And there's no doubt about it. The guys that I'm swimming with, and we had a lady, Steph, who got injured. She had both shoulders done, so she's not fit for this swim. But we've got a really strong team. As I said, most of these guys are ex-Marines, and they don't know how to give in. So I'm under pressure to perform.
Well, you can do that, I'm sure. Dr. Anna Martinez, Graeme is clearly passionate about this cause, and with good reason, because for people who are diagnosed with EB, life is challenging, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is. And I work at Great Ormond Street. I've been working with DEBRA and Cure EB, the charities. It has to be one of the most devastating conditions that you can come across. And I think all of my colleagues would acknowledge that. So anything that we can do that can help And I think this challenge is all about trying to raise money for repurposing drugs, because we've got treatments that are very expensive. Gene therapy, for instance, it might be coming. But at the moment, what we need is something now to help pain and itch. And we've been saying this a long time, but there are drugs that are currently available that if we use them for EB as they've been used for other conditions, for instance, eczema, there's a drug that could help. And those drugs, if we had the money to raise to do small trials that could be then available quickly for our patients, sort of in the next few months or years, would be amazing, whilst we're waiting for the cure and better treatment. So this is amazing. I'm completely in awe of Graeme and Isla and all the patients, and that's what inspires us to get this done, so that we can have these drugs now for our patients.
It's just bringing, you know, we raised money the last time, you know, good money. The public were fantastic. I'm hoping for the same reaction this time, but the awareness that we put out there, you know, I went to a luncheon in London, and there was two ladies who had children like Isla who suffered with this condition, and both told the same story. Their little girls were going to school and they were being shunned, and then since, you know, we highlighted it with your input as well, you've been an enormous help to us. Those kids were then going to school and being welcomed back into the group. So it's not just about raising money, getting it out there and making life a wee bit easier for these guys.
And making it a bit easier. And Isla, I was reading about, and you talked about things like, you know, just getting dressed takes a long time, doesn't it? I was reading as well about how much of your day and your week you have to spend just changing bandages. I mean, do you get angry? Do you get frustrated?
Short answer is yes, of course. It's so hard just to even do the simplest of things, as like have a bath. I can't just go, oh, I fancy a bath, I'll have one. It has to be planned. It has to be. I need help. I need 2 nurses that help me, and it's just has to be so executed perfectly. Yes.
And you're also on extremely powerful drugs, man.
Yes, from that. Yeah.
You know, to take the pain away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can imagine these dressings coming off.
And Isla, when you hear Graeme talk about other girls going to school and their lives being changed in that way, how is that for you? That must be quite good to hear.
It really is. It just makes me feel like being here doing this, the swim, it's all making a difference, not only for the future, but here and now. It's helping so much.
Dr. Anna, why is it proving so difficult to find a cure?
Because it's one of the most complicated conditions that exists, because it's multisystemic. That means that it affects the skin, there is a protein missing, but it also affects most of your body. So the approach to therapies is going to be a combination of a lot of different therapies, and so that's why it's so complex. So you might need gene therapy, but we also need medicines that can be injected, anti-inflammatory, protein therapy, lots of treatments. So to try and get that right combination is incredibly complicated, but we're getting there.
And Graeme, how was this for you to sit here on the sofa with Isla? I can remember talking to you right at the very start of this, and it was a bleak situation, wasn't it? We didn't feel like there was a huge amount of choice out there for people who'd been diagnosed. But to hear Dr. Anna talk about, you know, repurposing of drugs, a cure in the future.
You know, yeah, we're starting to shift the dial, and you know, some very clever people and the doctors are on it. It's a passion for them. How can it not be? If you witness this, you know, I'm sure you live in a world which is upsetting most of the time, and you know, so they can't help but be emotionally involved. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible condition to see. So right now, you know, we've got 20 drugs that we're looking to repurpose, but that's costing 10 million quid. Now, the last time the public were fantastic. I mean, I still get taxi drivers not charging me, and had a coffee and a guy gave me a guy. You might after this, you might not get the saying, you know, put the fare into the, and I. Only on, when was it, last week, one day last week, we went for a coffee afterwards, and a guy from Nottingham sitting there, and we're sitting with our robes on, and we're, you know, daft bobble hats,
Yes.
looking ridiculous. And the guy said, "Oh, they give me 20 quid." And the week before that, there was a guy in Sainsbury. He was paying his bill, and he asked for £10 in cash back, and he gave me £10. So, how can I put it? There's no amount of money until we can find a cure and prevent this disease and a cure. You know, we mustn't stop, because the children properly suffer with this. This isn't an easy watch. If you saw Isla have her dressings changed and just the daily grind of her life, it's not easy, and it just makes you appreciate what you've got in life. And if you have children, then you know you're constantly thinking, how would I have dealt with that? And it impacts on obviously the sufferers, but it impacts on the families too. You know, they're living with every single day, looking at their child suffer. And you know, tomorrow's going to be another day, another suffering day, and the day after that's going to be another suffering day. So this is something we're on, and it's a fight. It's a fight to the end.
Isla, any words of advice for Graeme before the big swim? What's your motivational speech going to be, do you think?
Good luck, and...
This is not the real you. Come on. The real you, come out, please.
Try not to get stung by a jellyfish.
Yeah. The last time we thought we did it in something like 12 hours 40. Came back, you know, chest puffed out, think we've done really well. Yeah. She's on the quay and Dover. What kept you? So I expect more of the same.
Yeah.
So nice to see you all. Good luck, Graeme.
Thanks for having us on. You've been great.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Isla.
Thank you, Isla.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.